Chris Anglin, Rockdale Career Academy. Chris has been teaching for 18 years and has been teaching social studies at RCA since it opened in 2006. He is a voracious reader of nonfiction books, mostly about education, economics, and history. He collects and reads comic books and enjoys working on home repairs during the summer. He shares his passion for education with his wife, Dr. Joanna Anglin, who serves as an assistant principal at Memorial Middle School. He says, "It is most rewarding to be able to work with the future every day as they realize they are learning and growing, as well as teaching me. I am very fortunate to work with students from across Rockdale in a school with a fabulous family." And I am probably blushing right now. Natasha Bell, Memorial Middle School. Natasha has been teaching for 14 years and currently teaches 8th grade mathematics. She loves spending time with family and friends, traveling, being adventurous, laughing, and telling a few jokes here and there. One of her most rewarding experiences was several years ago on the last day of school. She stood in front of the entire class and stated something positive about each student. When she finished, one little girl said, "Miss Bell, I would like to say something positive about you." With tears in her eyes, the little girl stated, "You are the best math teacher I ever had, because this is the first time I ever passed the math CRCT. Thank you, Miss Bell, for your hard work." She thanked her for her compliment and encouraged her to continue to do her best. She says, "It was definitely a moment she will never forget." N Boulanger Bolton Johnson, Alpha Academy. N Boulanger has been teaching for 20 years and currently teaches middle school science and serves as the RTI 504 coordinator at her school. She enjoys arts and crafts and home improvement projects in her spare time. She and her husband have 3 adult sons, a teenage daughter, 4 grandsons, and 9 dogs. She says her most rewarding experiences teaching include sharing the excitement of her students when they pass state assessments, and having the opportunity to previously support secondary science teachers and their students as the academic science coach for RCPS. She says, "My students think I go overboard with science. I literally can help them find the science in any situation." Josh Kammerer, Shoal Creek Elementary. Josh has been teaching for 12 years and is in his 4th year with the SOAR program. He enjoys spending time with his family, traveling, and trying new places to eat. They have been to their share of Atlanta Eats restaurants, as well as Food Network restaurants from Georgia to Oregon and states in between. Josh is originally from Iowa, and his favorite movie quote of all times is from Field of Dreams when Kevin Costner is asked, "Is this heaven?" And his response was, "It's Iowa." He shares his passion for education with his wife Kim, who is an assistant principal at General Ray Davis Middle School. Together they have 2 sons and a beagle mix named Penny. He says, "I have worked with MOID students, assistive technology, and currently with EBD students, and the most rewarding part of my job is the relationships that I have been able to create with not only the students, but with their families as well. I still keep in contact with quite a few of my former students and their parents." Divya Grodd, C.J. Hicks Elementary. Divya is in her 23rd year of teaching and currently teaches 2nd grade. She loves to read, listen to music, watch movies, and spend time with her family. She has written a children's book and is working on getting it published. Her love of teaching was developed during a time when she taught her youngest sister English after moving to the United States. Her sister went from failing the first semester in the U.S. to graduating as salutatorian of her class. She says, "The most rewarding experience is when my students excel not only in their academic achievements, but also show great character traits and become great citizens and future leaders of our world. Emily Klesitz, J.H. House Elementary. Emily has been teaching for 10 years, 7 of them in 3rd grade and 3 of them in 4th grade, all at J.H. House. In her spare time, she likes to hang out with her family and friends. She loves to be outside, whether that means hiking, biking, or lying by the pool. She says she has always wanted to be a teacher. She used to play school with her dolls when she was a little girl. Her grandfather was a teacher, and she is now following in his footsteps. She says, "The most rewarding part of my job is when former students come back to tell me how much I impacted them as a teacher. I recently had a former student who was about to graduate high school contact me to thank me for always encouraging him and making him feel confident in everything he does." Kelly Mayo, Heritage High School. Kelly has been the credit recovery teacher for the past 2 out of her 15 years of teaching. She enjoys playing softball, watching her boys play baseball, going to Atlanta Braves games, and going to UGA football games. She and her husband have 1 daughter, 2 sons, and 2 black labs, Diesel and Shelby. When asked about her most rewarding teaching experience, she said, "I believe being asked to leave the math classroom and move to credit recovery is probably the most rewarding experience. I get to connect with a group of students that may have attendance and disciplinary challenges, or even difficulty with a traditional classroom approach or school in general." Precious Moon, Hightower Trail Elementary. Precious has been teaching for 25 years and currently teaches 4th grade. She enjoys reading fiction books, watching Netflix, going to movies, and working out by going to boot camp and running 2 miles a day. She also loves spending time with her husband and 2 daughters and walking their dog Chloe. She says her most rewarding experience in her teaching career is simply teaching children and watching them become successful, productive citizens. She has 2 quotes that she lives by daily. One is, "Every child needs a champion, an adult who will never give up on them, who understands the power of connection and insists that they become the best they can possibly be," by Rita Pearson. And, "Excellence is not an act, but a habit. The things you do the most are the things you will do the best," by Marva Collins. Janerio Murray, Pine Street Elementary. Janerio has been teaching for 3 years and teaches 4th grade. She enjoys music and singing, going to concerts and plays, traveling, and reading. She is the mother of twin daughters who recently graduated from Salem High School and are now attending Johnson & Wales and East Georgia State. She was named Outstanding Technology Teacher of the Year in 2017-18. She says her most rewarding experiences in her teaching career include sharing her knowledge of technology use and tools for classroom management with her peers at the Learning Reimagined Conference. Veta Reed, Edwards Middle School. Veta has been teaching for over 19 years and currently teaches math and serves as a special education teacher. In her spare time, she loves spending time and having fun with family and friends, shopping, and serving at her church and in her community. She is the 3rd of 10 siblings, with 6 sisters, 3 brothers, and numerous nieces, nephews, and godchildren. She says, "Being able to work with a group of diverse students, speak life into them, and nurture their young minds daily is overall what is most rewarding to me as a teacher. I cherish the time students return to visit or write letters of thanks and appreciation, as well as the friendships I've made over the years with many of the parents and grandparents. It is an honor to serve them daily. I truly believe that teachers can be the change that students need to see." Jennifer Shy, Flat Shoals Elementary. Jennifer has been teaching for 8 years, all of them teaching art at Flat Shoals. In her spare time, she enjoys spending time with her family and their 2 dogs, Walter and Penny. She and her husband have been married for 9 years and have 2 boys, ages 4 and 2 months. When asked about her most rewarding experiences, she states, "As a specials teacher, I have the unique opportunity to be able to teach students over several years, from kindergarten to 5th grade. This enables me to see students grow as artists over time." Francoise Scott, General Ray Davis Middle School. Francoise has been teaching for 22 years and has been teaching science at Davis Middle for 8 years. She enjoys traveling and decorating for events such as weddings and baby showers. She collects frog figurines and Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Inc. collectibles. She and her husband of 25 years have 1 son who plays professional minor league baseball. She says one of her most rewarding experiences as a teacher was being selected by students as an honored teacher in 2016 and 2017. She also says, "Having taught in Maryland and a neighboring school system, I consider Rockdale my most rewarding teaching experience ever. The students are eager to learn and ask the most funny and intriguing questions in life science." Cynthia Siren, Peaks Chapel Elementary. Cindy has been teaching for 30 years, 22 of them in Rockdale County. She has been teaching pre-K for 14 years and currently serves as the lead pre-K teacher at her school. She spends most of her spare time playing with her 4-year-old grandson and also enjoys walking and reading. She has an adult son and daughter who teaches special education. She says some of her most rewarding experiences include when children walk into her classroom, either not speaking at all or only speaking in a language other than English, and they leave her classroom fully able to communicate in English. Tracy Smith, Honey Creek Elementary. Tracy has been teaching for 23 years and has been teaching special education for 8 years. She enjoys reading suspense and mystery books, working out, and spending time with her family. She and her husband of 25 years have a son and 2 daughters. She says one of her most memorable experiences in her teaching career happened when a former student that she taught for 2 years came to visit her. She recalls the student had difficulty interacting with peers, angered easily, and would shut down in large group settings. This student is now taking courses in the general education setting, is a member of the honor chorus, and has been given lead roles in school performances. The student's mother thanked her for having patience and believing in her child. Tracy says, "I know without a shadow of a doubt that I was created for this profession." Kimberly Tomlinson, Barksdale Elementary. Kimberly has been teaching for 16 years and has been teaching pre-K for 6 years. In her spare time, she loves to read, go to the movies, and comic conventions. She and her husband of 21 years have a son who is a senior at Heritage High School. She says the most rewarding experiences in her teaching career is seeing the growth of students with regard to social emotional expectations. She recalls a time when a parent shared that her child came home during the Christmas holidays and told them, "It's okay if everyone doesn't celebrate the same way. We should still respect one another." Brandy Webb, Lorraine Elementary. Brandy has been teaching special education for 18 years and has worked with students from kindergarten to 5th grade. She is an avid Falcons fan, never missing a home game, no matter what kind of season they are having. She loves to read and serves as a sponsor for the Reading Bowl team, considering it a privilege to be able to work with students who also enjoy reading and turning it into a competition. She is the proud mom of 2 dogs and 2 cats, all rescue animals. She shares her most memorable moments include working with twins that had very little experience in a traditional classroom setting. Through her work with them over a few years, she was able to watch their personalities blossom and says they are the reason she teaches. India Whitted, Sims Elementary. India has been teaching for 14 years and has been teaching third grade math and science for 2.5 years. She likes to read, sew, and spend time with her family and her dog Riley. She and her husband of 30 years have 3 adult sons. She says her most rewarding experience in her teaching career was when a student who wouldn't talk began talking during a lesson. She had asked him what he wanted to be when he grew up, and he said he wanted to be a scientist. She says, "That experience gave me such joy and made me realize that teaching is the right career for me." Demetria Williams, Rockdale Magnet School for Science and Technology. Demetria has been teaching for 16 years, and for the past 9 years has been teaching engineering along with computer science for 4 years. She enjoys crafting, movie nights and spending time with family, being an active member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and Alpha Delta Kappa, a teaching sorority organization. She has been married for 23 years and says she is the proud mom of 2 sons and 2 daughters. She says her most rewarding experience was having her student win first place at the InVenture Prize Challenge for high school students and represent Rockdale Magnet and Rockdale County in Washington, D.C. for creating her innovation of noise-canceling headphones. She says, "I encourage my students to find their passion and know that it is okay to fail. From failure comes success." Michael Zellis, Rockdale Open Campus. Michael has been teaching for 20 years and currently teaches mathematics. He enjoys basketball, walking, and learning new ideas. He and his wife of 25 years have 2 daughters and 3 sons. He is in his 34th year of military service, being active in the Army and the Marines. He served 2 combat tours, Iraq in 2005 and 6, and Afghanistan in 2014-15. Currently, he is Major Michael Zellis, a logistics officer in the Army Reserves, and recently returned from mobilization to Fort Hood, Texas. He says his most rewarding experiences in his teaching career include seeing the transformation in his students from August to May, and one student in particular who joined the Navy Nuclear Engineer program. He says, "I thank God, my administrators, colleagues, and students for their confidence in me. However, it's a family concept that has helped me grow."